Hey guys, what up? Total Control 871 chiming in to give you a very fast update. I know we were all expecting court to be today on the 17th. I was given a call a couple of days ago by Attorneyman Stein. I was able to retain him. He has notified the court that he will be representing me, and he telephoned me a couple of days ago informing me that today's date, the 17th, that has been postponed. Um, I don't know if that's good. Excuse me. Um, it could possibly mean that the prosecutor now knows that they are dealing with an actual attorney rather than just me by myself. They may feel the need to, I don't know, go over things, bone up, or whatever. Um, if anything, if that is the case, it just goes to show you how people who are too poor to retain an attorney are just simply they're not given their measure of justice. So, there's a lot of injustice out there. Okay, yeah, so I do not know when the new court date is. Attorneyman Stein says that he will reach out and he will contact me about when the new date will be. Um, what can I say? It's the whole thing. It's cooking down to state sanctioned lane control for a short stint of time under hazardous conditions versus uh, the population's continuity of cycling next to the curb in the gutter. Because that is, excuse me, I'm still kind of, it still feels a little foggy in the chest. I guess that's what it feels like. It just feels foggy down there. It doesn't feel like an infection or anything. It just feels foggy. Anyway, that's it's human continuity that I'm battling against, and it's a bitch, man. Getting people to alter their thinking, alter their perceptions. I've made multiple cases on this already. Um, it is just simply cyclists who are seen with this bias and this prejudice. We are expected to just simply take on unnecessary risk just because we're riding a bicycle. Motorists, when they were being ejected from vehicles in crashes in the 60s, 70s, I think the seatbelt law came into effect somewhere in the 80s, right? Or something like that. Point is, nobody shrugged their shoulders. Nobody just simply said to motorists, well, if you're going to get into a car and go somewhere, then that's just a risk that you take. You know, um, Cops, in their traffic stops, nobody says to them, oh, well, you chose to wear the badge. If if you get hit, Officer Kevin Devlin, uh, if you're out there, you're watching this, tell you what, why don't you give Linwood police officer Alex Coons, I believe I'm mispronouncing that right, Kuhns or something like that. Sorry, Officer Coons, if I'm butchering your name. But yeah, I covered your news piece last year. This officer almost lost his legs. The car almost sheared his legs off along with the cruiser's door that was open. Officer Devlin, he from what we're gathering in these videos, he is only willing to acknowledge a hazardous condition that is tangible. Tangible meaning an object like a stopped vehicle, you know, debris, um, something large that would block the path of a cyclist on the shoulder of the road. he will yield to that as far as his own personal continuity. For him, he can wrap his head around that. But if the hazardous condition is non-tangible, meaning the excuse me, meaning the geometry of the road plus careless driving, it's Euclidean logic, uh, basic geometry. Um, he does not acknowledge this. The narrow lane width, the lack of shoulder, lack of cycling infrastructure, and in his mind, just get to the far right, take your chances. Hopefully you won't get hit, but if you do, that's just too bad. That's something you're just simply going to have to accept if you're going to be a cyclist in the road. So nobody said to you, if you're going to be a cop, then you just simply have to accept getting maimed or killed by whoops-a-daisy drivers. These courts, it's a backhanded slap, because the judge that you appear before, literally, before your trial begins, he literally processes dozens of bad driving cases. So it's not like it's a struggle to make him understand of the hazardous, poor driving. I think Jersey ranked number 4 in the top 5 worst driving states. So, like I say, cops are only willing to acknowledge the poor road geometry and the careless driving when it is their own life that is hanging in the balance. When it is the life of a cyclist, they do not care. You are expected to just simply take on that risk. So that is what I'm dealing with, and that is the case we're making. The law says as far to the right as practicable. That word practicable, it's extremely important. It means that it's calling on the cyclist, not police officer or motorists or drivers on the road. It's calling on the cyclists to make an informed, learned decision about their own personal safety. And it's not like I am advocating for the right and or ability to take the lane and hold it indefinitely. That is another disconnect that I am struggling with when it comes to the police. Officer Devlin would see this 700-foot spanse that runs from the Parkway overpass to Fire Road intersection. Is about 700 feet, and he feels that's just too long for you to have lane control. And of course, the video itself clearly shows wide open tarmac. So now you're writing tickets for a theoretical crime. I'll say this. It is true that our roads are civilly engineered to function in a particular fashion. Why does Tilton Road have 2 lanes of travel in each direction as opposed to 1? It could be argued that to accommodate the correct flow of traffic, we need both lanes open. Unfortunately, that does not usurp the Euclidean logic of the narrow, hazardous conditions. And it does not usurp the very first word, the very first sentence of Title 39, 414, that we have all the same rights to the road as any motorists. Motorists, they get in each other's way, causing delay all the time. And if motorists have the right to do this, and I have the same rights as they, then I have the right to cause a momentary delay, especially when that delay directly facilitates my own personal safety, something that the law is calling on me to do, to make a practicable decision, to make a learned decision about my travel. All right, guys, I'm getting off the soapbox here. It's a really great day out there. I wish I could enjoy it more. There's a lot of depression, a lot of just coming out to the mailbox today. Very, it was hard getting out. It's hard getting out into the sunlight. Um, there's a little bit of a comical tale behind it. I'll tell you guys about it later tonight or something like that. All right, be safe. Enjoy your summer. Total Control 871.